Boom! Whoa! Welcome. Wait, let me try that one more time.
Boiler up.
Welcome to the Valentine's Day episode.
Welcome to the Valentine's Day episode of Fishy Film Fridays. Today we're watching Boiling Point in 2021 best film. And we're joined as always. We got Jared here, who's got a lovely table lit dinner, and we're having a nice date this evening.
I am. Gotta love yourself. And guess what, baby? We're about to reach 212 degrees Fahrenheit, or as our friends on the other side of the world might say, 100 degrees Celsius.
Ooh, nice. And
Yeah.
we've also
You
got
like
Eagles fan Danny.
Not an Eagles fan.
Turnpike Trash Dan.
Turnpike Trash Danny Ocean. Happy to be here with you boys to discuss film while the world collapses from the release of Deep Seek and the bird flu. I hope to podcast with you guys all the way up until the days of bug-made steaks. Let's ride, baby.
Mmm.
Let's ride.
Mm,
Win the
bug,
seventh. Win the seventh.
bug steaks.
Yeah, and so maybe if you want the full experience, you can get a candle, sort of like what Jared has, and get some bugs on a plate and eat them with while you're watching the show, and it feels like you're sort of on a date with him. That might be nice.
And that date might be even a McDonald's meal.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Hey, in this economy,
that will be made out of bugs any day now. Uh,
if not already.
So, as I mentioned, today's film we watched is Boiling Point, which is a British drama directed by Philip Barantini. So, a little bit of background: this film was actually a short film originally that Barantini made in 2019, and that also starred Stephen Graham. Now, what do you guys know about Stephen Graham?
Oh, okay. Jared sent a message about Stephen Graham earlier today, and I had no idea what the fuck he was
Oh,
talking
you don't know
about.
who he
So
is?
now I
You've
kind of know, but
never.
still not really.
The
Oh my
man's from Peaky
gosh.
Blinders. He's from Boardwalk Empire. He's very good in Boardwalk
Oh, I've
Empire.
never
I
seen either of those shows.
I knew him from Gangs in New York.
Oh,
Yes, Gangs of New
That's
York.
where I remember from. That
He
was
he tends to play a gangster, but he's sort of the gangster of the kitchen in this film.
yeah. He seems like a man who's living a second chance on life.
You think he's a beta in the kitchen, Daniel?
no, but I think if there is a gangster in the kitchen, it's the guy who's watching soccer clips instead of taking out the trash.
Pretty
True.
badass. Or
Yeah.
that's
That
just a
guy.
reflection of most of your kitchen staff these days.
Yes, maybe in Britain. I feel like American kitchens don't look like this um, necessarily.
How so?
Depends.
In terms of what? Race?
In terms of ethnicity, yeah, maybe
Yeah,
the
100%.
general.
I think you're right, actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
let me
wonder what
see.
it's like over there.
I was gonna
I'm,
say American kitchens might be potentially less
yeah,
Less
I'm
that
not
more homogenous, but more diverse,
yeah,
depending on the metric you use. Yeah.
yes.
yes. Yeah, restaurants in America are about to get a lot more expensive thanks to this immigration deportation situation. So everybody get in your burgers now and
Wait, let's draw back Tim's comment there. Are you saying that people who are immigrants don't have talent to work beyond a restaurant or service capacity?
no, I didn't say that at
No, that's not
all.
what he meant at all.
I said a
That's
lot of them are
so that's how you
working
view
at
them. You view them as the help or something? Is that what you're
no,
saying?
actually no, I view them as employees that are vastly underpaid and we don't and they're excellent chefs and we're going to lose a lot of delicious food and it's going to be really expensive now to do anything. So that's going to suck. So
And the food will probably get worse,
the
honestly.
food will get worse. It'll be
Or you could have
booger.
been an ethical consumer and help support livable wages by telling the business you're dining at to raise their wages.
Oh yeah. I forgot to ask the restaurants to raise their wages. That's my bad.
Yeah, no, it's okay. They're just basing off what you're willing to pay, Tim.
Yeah,
The myth of free choice in the market economy.
and so this film, it does star Stephen Graham, which we talked about. He plays Andy Jones, who's this head chef struggling to hold it all together. And it's sort of it's a large cast, right? We meet a lot of characters in this film. Never recognized any of these people before. Didn't know who they were.
No. Yeah.
But that kind of added to the realism. This is another film we're watching on Triple F that is just real life. I love films like this. We watched Harvey Picar. This is a little bit of the Picar verse, so really enjoyed that.
I don't think that's true at all. Oh my God.
Harvey would like this film.
I don't think he would. I think I don't want to tip my hand too quickly, but I don't think it's that realist.
So,
A lot happens in one night.
something interesting about this, the cast, is that a lot of the dialogue was improvised, apparently.
Yeah, I could tell.
You think so? I mean,
Yes.
it made it.
I couldn't tell.
This looks like all three of us just tried to put this together and made it up within a day.
Well, we couldn't do that. No, we're not talented enough. Really? You think
our viewing analytics say otherwise?
Well, the film is set in a high-end London restaurant. It's a very busy night, wouldn't you say?
I couldn't even tell it was London, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well,
because of like his Irish or whatever it was accent.
Scouse.
Scottish.
He's speaking Scouse.
Like, I couldn't really place it ever.
Yeah, but I don't think that's important.
I couldn't tell if he was from London. Did he just move there?
No, he talks about how he's Scottish, but he mentioned it multiple times.
Well, that shit's not important. You don't need to know where he comes from, and it's sort of revealed in bits and pieces throughout. What the background is.
Okay.
And interestingly enough, the director Barantini, he actually worked as a chef before he was a filmmaker. So he liked to think that the kitchen details are very accurate. The stress that we see in the film, the way the orders get backed up, the power dynamics between the coworkers, it's all based on these real experiences that Barantini had.
Is this like real experiences that he had in the kitchen, or like the classic, I suddenly have the money to make movies as a director, money in my life, but I had to quote unquote rough it for a few years right out of college type bullshit?
Oh,
like the rich baristas at your local coffee shop?
Yeah, it might be that, honestly.
Okay, just wondering.
I'm not sure, but it might be.
I would say his kitchen depictions aren't that far off, though. We can get into that. I got some commentary on it, and even possibly a presentation, too.
Ooh. Yeah, well, in terms of critical reception, this film was nominated for 4 BAFTAs, which don't know what that is, but I'm guessing it's British
Academy for the
big-ass film.
Fine and television and television, film and television arts.
Oh, and so it was nominated for Outstanding British Film and also Best Actor for Stephen Graham. He got a nod there. So congrats.
But he didn't win, or did he not?
Don't think he won. He just got nominated. And a lot of critics have compared this film to Uncut Gems, which we have discussed on the pod.
Not Birdman?
I was thinking Birdman the entire time. Thank you,
this was just Birdman, but like, it was Birdman, but I think a more relatable Birdman, because in Birdman...
Budman.
Who's going to connect to like theater that much? That's such a smaller percentage of the population compared to
you
people
would. I mean, you got a Wicked album behind you.
No one mourns the Wicked.
Do you want to hit the note, the Wicked note? That's good. That was really good. So,
you try.
All right. All right.
Not cool. Sorry. Absolutely not cool.
Yeah, we're gonna edit that out.
That was bad. Oh,
so
boy.
Yeah, as you did mention, it is very much like.
How long did it take you to realize it was a one-shot film?
I mean, I knew it was going in, so I guess.
Oh, I had no idea. It took me like 10 minutes in. I'm like, oh, this has a
Yeah, I was going to say 15 to 20, actually.
Really? Yeah. So I guess they hide it pretty well. So would you say it's more of a gimmick, or does it make the film more immersive?
Oh, damn, we're jumping to final thoughts already, huh?
Well, no, it's an interesting, question based on the film.
Okay, so I'll start off with that. First thing first, way too many studios and production companies involved in this.
Yeah. Almost comically, how many
I counted
credits
14 different entities were involved in this. So with that,
not one of them was familiar. No.
I felt like it was chat generated, Dolly logos, everything. That being said, the moment I found out that this was a Birdman ripoff, but with a kitchen with high intensity, and then what was I felt like it was Birdman and Whiplash all put together in one
Ah,
movie.
Sure.
yep,
And that's when I figured this was definite Grammy bait.
yep.
Not Grammy
Oh,
bait.
Not
Grammy,
Grammy,
they're
but
gonna
yeah.
make a song.
Damn it. But like they were trying to go Oscar bait or BAFTA bait. Especially like if they knew this from a
BAFTA.
BAFTA bait.
That's when you get a pedophile. Like
Yo,
you
I just
trick
gotta go
him into
BAFTA debate real quick.
They're BAFTA baiting all over themselves with this. Especially like if this was a previous short film, like why would they extend a previous short film unless they're trying to make it a commercial success or an award success? So that kind of there's a lot of self-indulging attributes to it right off the get-go, and that's
One might even say BAFTA Batory.
oh boy.
What
So,
other films are like single take like this?
Yeah, I was actually trying to think of other ones as well.
there's that
Birdman was the only one that came to mind.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode where
Oh
Charlie
my
has the
Yeah,
health
that's not. I
inspector
said
come,
not what I said. Oh, that's a good ep though.
but it's also very similar. The health inspector comes.
Yeah, that was kind of more enjoyable than this movie.
So that makes me wonder if they use some of this as because I always took that as a Birdman like parody. I'm starting to wonder if this was actually a Boiling Point parody.
Oh,
Do you do you think Always Sunny is that
Depends when it
intelligent?
came out. I'm not sure when it came out. I feel like the Always Sunny came out before that.
Hmm.
okay. Daniel turn
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the what was the word you used? Gimmick?
Yeah, is it gimmicky or is it, does it make the film more immersive?
Okay, so I think its single creative swing was the single shot. Like it didn't take any other swings whatsoever.
Mm,
And so that makes it come off as a gimmick, especially given the sparse themes that it develops. Otherwise, like nothing happens in this movie other than a single shot, in my opinion.
wow.
And the other thing is that the only deviations from the main galley are like the guy going to like do drugs with some random girl when he takes
Yeah.
the trash out. And then there's one other one that also was like similarly like meaningless,
When
which
the manager like goes to the bathroom to like
yeah,
cry
yeah, yeah,
about
yeah.
cry to her
And so
dad.
those both are very weak plot wise, which gave me the impression that those two scenes were just scenes is a hard word to use here, but like those two elements
It's
of the
filler.
single shot were only there to give the other people a
Right,
break,
time to set up.
which like kind of killed it for me. Like like if you're gonna do that, like make it perfect, especially if you're not gonna do anything but that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely moments where there's little moments where they hide like, oh, they're setting up something behind the camera.
Yeah,
But those are big ones where they're just sort of walking away from the action. Um,
right.
and
And like nothing
it's
happens. It's
yeah,
okay to
nothing.
walk away from the action and reset. Like obviously you have to do that if you're doing something like this, but like
Yeah, so that's very true. Should we jump into it? We don't have to go beat for beat, but there are some things I think we should discuss about
No,
the
no,
film.
no, Tim. We should do beat for beat. I like that.
It's going to take too long, and you guys are going to complain
Jared does
again.
beat to beat all the time.
Beat to beat, bashing all,
So,
debating all day.
we're introduced to this chef first off. Is after the 20 logos get by, and he gets out of a car and he shuts the door. Just kidding, I'm not doing that.
Oh, that was funny. I didn't even notice you doing a bit.
I was waiting to see how long you'd go.
He's calling his child, and he does this throughout, or he's trying to get in touch with his kid. There's sort of this comeback that he keeps trying to call his kid and
Phone
talk to him.
tag.
He's playing phone tag. It's very sad. I think it happens 4 times, and he's not really trying his best. He's very distracted. He probably has ADHD. Now, when I think about it.
Or he's a
No, he just
recovering
has a
drug
drug
addict.
problem. Yeah.
Well, he reveals he's been living out of a suitcase for 2 months, and he calls his kid because his kid. You guys know why he was calling his son? He wanted to figure out what
Swim
about him.
meet.
Yes, he got a nice swim meet. He
and
wanted
it's
to hear how he
Christmas
did.
Eve.
Christmas Eve swim meet. Is it Christmas Eve?
I don't
Yeah.
think it's Christmas Eve, but it is Christmas time.
Yeah, you hear Christmas music in the background. I don't think it's
There's a
Christmas
Christmas
Eve.
tree in the restaurant.
Pretty sure it's Christmas Eve, but go on. Yeah.
And he's leaving a message and he's apologizing on the phone, like a big embarrassing message. Have you guys ever done this? Left a big message where you're apologizing on the phone?
Yes.
How about you, Jared?
I always do check-in messages with people, making sure they're doing okay, and no one really appreciates them.
Oh, you never apologized on the phone where you're like, I'm so sorry. I've been moving around so much. I'm so busy. I forgot about you.
Never provide a mission of guilt in a recording.
Interesting. Yeah, of course you'd never do that, but I could make you say that through AI.
Yeah,
Um, so he walks into the restaurant and there's a Alan Lovejoy, the health inspector's there. He's got a dumb hat on, and I actually kind of liked the beginning. I thought it was sort of
I
funny.
love that. Yeah.
Um, and it's just like classic British bureaucracy, like the Brits are so anal about everything. Like you have to have a TV license in order to watch television. Like same stuff with the fridge was 1 degree off.
No,
Um,
but that shit is important.
It is, as we can see,
This is like the
people
problem
can
with
die.
like food industry people act like they are the biggest victims in the world
yeah.
constantly.
They kill people on a
And
regular
yeah,
basis or give people poopy whoopies on a
yeah,
very regular basis.
because only retards go into that industry and then they get
Hey,
mad that
He
they have
dropped
to actually do things that are important because they literally feed people, one of the main functions of survival. And then when they fuck it up, they're like, "Oh, it's so vilified," and they never take into account the fact that they're just retards.
Yep.
well, I think that's what separates the chefs from those who are being trained, all the sous chefs. Well, mainly because like Andy does take that seriously. He just has his drug problem and not able to actually uphold the standard like he's supposed to. But when he like realizes the fuck ups that are happening, he really flips out on people and realizes what like the dilemma is. But Danny, I
I
entirely
didn't
agree.
interpret it that way. I interpreted that moment of him lashing out about the minor infractions when actually they were in trouble for the record keeping
Paperwork.
as him lashing out as a drug addict, not
Yeah,
actually him
he couldn't
caring.
even put it together that it was his fault for the
Yeah,
record keeping.
yeah.
I think he acknowledges it, but it goes back though. I think the role of a chef is a very admirable role, as the characters, him and his celebrity chef friend, really demonstrate. Especially when those, I know we're jumping up forward
It's
real
fine.
fast, but I don't think we need to go through our typical narrative.
We're
Um,
not, we're just yeah, we're
yeah,
going.
yeah, we're
What do you
bantering.
want to say?
When those influencers try to get Andy to take the picture of them with the celebrity chef, and he's like, "Fuck off, Bates. That's the head chef here."
Yeah.
And I think that you got to show a demonstration of respect for chefs. As a student of the culinary arts with credit hours in culinary arts, as a pizzaiolo, I really I take offense to your comment, Danny, that the degenerates of the world or the lesser people that you view them as are going into food and dining. It's
No,
more
for sure
so,
it's a broad characterization. I think the
yeah.
problem is that
Is
this
that
is
how
an
you
image
view
of a
the
fine
immigrants that
dining
Tim
restaurant.
talked? Is that how you view the immigrants that Tim talked about earlier? Those working
Obviously,
in
this is a fine dining restaurant, so things are a little bit different, but there is like a large vocal section of the service industry that thinks they are God's gift to
Yeah,
earth for feeding
yes,
you overpriced slop. That's a
Chili's,
very big difference between that and what's going on at this restaurant.
and
Chili's.
it's sad that it's the Anthony Bourdains of the world that have made chefs think that way. Um,
Yes. Anthony Bourdain needed to be named. I can't believe it took this long to name drop him here, but yeah.
But
This is what happens when you martyr someone, like everything spirals out of control.
hmm
no, do not blame the Bourdain for this. Have you any of you guys worked in food industry where a health inspector has been present for that?
Yes.
not when a health. I don't. At least I wasn't aware of it. No,
Yeah, it is stressful. I'll tell you that.
I've seen that. It's
No,
fun.
because honestly, they ran fucking Wawa like a navy, and so it was fine.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's calling Nate Wawa the food service industry.
I mean, I was handling food, and I tell you what, our fridge has never had an issue because it was like a major corporation with a lot of
But
safeguards
they
in
their
knew what
place.
they
thing,
had to do.
but the
Yeah.
annoyance was like to meet code, it had to be 28 degrees or whatever, and it was 28 degrees. So it was like, why is he being a little annoying about this?
Okay,
No, but he was right
obviously,
because you have to take other contingencies into effect, or you get other people
Okay,
sick.
if that's the case, then lower the fridge standard to like 22. I mean, make that the rule. It's
That's
ridiculous.
fair.
now
I'll
he
give you
could do
that.
that, but he also was being constructive. He said, "You jam packed your freezer. If you're not going
Uh,
to have air circulation, you need to lower it."
I mean, end of the day, the food health inspector is a narc, and if you support the narc, then you are a
How do
narc.
you view lifeguards at a pool?
Narc. Narc that comes in handy when somebody too big jump in the pool.
You look like a
That's
drowning
often the
kid.
case with narcs. Is sometimes they come in handy.
Yeah.
All right.
Next time you get food poisoning, you can
I know
blame.
that's true. I guess I do think they're important. I think he just was taking the job a little too seriously. Like a fork falls on the floor. He's like, "You're gonna have to replace that." It's like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
He's just
And I
saying
can
it.
call him Sherlock because he's British. But the other stuff made sense.
That's what you have to qualify.
He wasn't wearing gloves and chucking the oysters. Yeah, that's probably a problem. The
The
other
guy
lady,
scratching his beard, that was
that
disgusting.
was
I get
gross.
so pissed off when I see that food service.
What'd you think of that character? That's sort of the man who at the chopping station. Forgot his name.
You're a cook. I liked him.
The guy who's doing the lamb and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah, he
really
was fine to me.
I liked him, and he was also like a sense of like blunt reason throughout the film. I think he played a very good role.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, no one's wearing a hat. You notice that?
Well, because I don't
Besides
think
the one bartender.
chefs don't really wear hats.
Dude, there's pubes and hair in all that food.
Oh, you mean like safety beard mask or whatever?
Yes.
Beard nuts sucked so bad.
Beard net.
Beard
Oh
net.
yeah, Danny. I've seen Danny in a beard net.
Yeah, dude.
Beard nets are frustrating, but at
Fuck
least have a
Jared's little
hat.
pizza university bullshit. I've rocked a fucking beard net in
I
front
had
of
to
both
do.
of
I
you
had to
in a
wear a beard
service
net
capacity. Don't
at
even
Costco.
fucking steal my
Oh,
dollar.
and you'd get the burn. You'd get those burn marks on you.
Dude, the burn marks were crazy.
Yeah, you slaved away, man, for that education. I appreciate what you did for us.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, it's sort of revealed later that sort of during that while he's reaming him out about the health inspector score going from a 5 to a 3, it's revealed that Andy didn't order the beef. He didn't label the turnip, so they threw it away from the night before. And then he gives like these sheepish, like, I'm sorry, which is like he was just reaming out everybody else. And now he thinks he can be all apologetic. Like he is definitely dealing with an abuse issue.
He's head chef.
Drug variety. And don't you think he would smell a lot like alcohol? Like the fact that he's drinking booze straight out of that water bottle, as it's revealed later.
That was actually interesting because that was the one thing I didn't see coming was that was booze.
I thought he was just trying to hydrate up all night.
Yeah, like I never crossed my mind, which makes me wonder, like, how
How many
often are people
people?
drinking in front of me and I'm completely unaware?
Dude, there's so many people who use their Stanleys to just hide booze throughout the day.
Interesting, yeah. Because I literally, and maybe it was like the type of bottle doesn't seem like the bottle I would use
The
for vodka.
sucking,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like
such a
that's,
terrible bottle choice.
because you
yeah,
got to taste all of that. You're not just pushing it down.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like drinking it through a straw, or I mean, it's worse than a
That's
straw.
straw. You can avoid the actual tasting. He must not mind the taste of like just straight vodka.
Yeah, I mean, it probably killed the taste of the gasoline in his mouth from the cocaine.
Um, there's another point where Andy gets another phone call. He has to hang up because the meeting's starting with what is it, the maitre d or the manager of
Yeah,
the
front house manager.
front house meeting, and
Yeah, I don't know
then
if we say maitre d' anymore.
we don't. Oh, I thought we did.
Once again, Tim just belittling those in the service industry. But go on.
And there's an important part. I just gave them a more formal name, so I don't know why you're saying that. Okay. Uh,
I
At
don't
they,
least you
know
didn't
why
call
we
her.
moved away from that. Is it a gender thing?
yeah, probably.
Or is it
Make
a master thing?
oh, like master bedroom. You can't say that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know which it is, but it doesn't seem like you hear that much anymore.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Never
think it's a.
mind, DEI is over, so fuck it, it's a maitre d'.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or food lady, as Tim could call it.
I did not say food lady.
That cowl of a lunch lady.
The it's at the meeting that the chefs say, we have to push the veg and the fish to the waiters and
So that was
waitresses.
interesting because that made me actually think of Bourdain because Bourdain says that thing about here's what days of the week you should eat
Oh
certain
yeah.
foods. And then when they're like, oh, push these things, I was like, oh, so is every special just something that's about to go bad?
Yeah,
Yes. That's so true. And that's probably what this lame director got from Bourdain's book and stole for himself.
Yeah. That's actually kind of the main useful tidbit in that Bourdain book.
But yeah, that's true. Um, the this is an exciting part of the movie because he said fish, and this is Fishy Film Friday, and so I was
Very
excited.
fish heavy menu.
I was excited to see some of that floppity stuff. That stuff that swims in the sea.
The oysters too. We don't appreciate our oysters
I love oysters.
and our shellfish. Such very
Don't be shellfish.
very underrepresented fish in our podcast. They're the shellfish.
The manager takes a selfie, by the way, with everybody. So I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, that sort of kind of did a good job of placing her character in relation to the others.
Yeah,
No
you
one
could.
likes her.
It's revealed
Yeah.
later with that character that I guess her father owns the restaurant. What did you
Yes.
guys make of that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because she called her.
But it's
dad
confusing.
and
Them all of the money talk doesn't really add up because then somehow this down on his luck
The chef
addict
owns
has
part of
money
it.
in
It's a
it, but he
partnership.
borrowed it from the celebrity chef. But then the celebrity chef is asking to be made a partner,
Yeah.
but his money's already in it. So
That
why isn't he
part-
partner already? It doesn't make any sense.
No, I think he lost the money in something else. The 200,000 pounds. I don't think it
No,
was
I
for
think
his
he gave it
investment in
to
the restaurant.
to the chef. The chef used it in the chef's name, and so the celebrity chef doesn't have a stake despite his money being in the
Yeah,
enterprise.
but I don't think that 200,000 pounds was meant for the investment in the restaurant. I think it was used for something else, potentially for the drugs.
Oh, okay, maybe.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's why I was
But
asking
yeah, the
for
money
a
relations don't add
70-30
up to me.
share.
Yeah.
I figured it out. He owns 30% of the restaurant with other shareholders or partners. I'm from the context clues, the maitre d', as Tim wants to call her. His father
The
is one
maitre
of those
d's
partners.
nuts.
Maitre d's nuts. Father is a partner, and there's probably other partners too.
Yeah.
And the chef owns 30%.
Wait, what was the point of that though?
The celebrity chef wants 21% of the restaurant essentially because
No. John's point was that this chick, the maitre d',
Yeah, it's like
is disliked because she's in an authority relation to the others.
she's an authority, and she also doesn't really. She's in over her head.
Yeah,
She doesn't know how to run a restaurant.
she's trying to please others when it doesn't matter, like those dumb Instagram influencers.
It's probably
Yeah, I think we
not.
should really talk about those guys at length at a later point.
It's probably not her dream, but it might be. Might be just like her dad was like, "Here, you do this. I bought this restaurant. You do this."
Sometimes,
Well,
I
if your
feel like
dad's got
maitre
money
d'.
for a restaurant, you might be one of those dreamless types. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes I'm the maitre d'. I feel like when I'm selling mini golf and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, Jared. But it's probably a little bit less offensive in a small amusement park type setting.
Yeah, possibly.
I don't know though.
That's a good question.
I'd love to. Okay, what were you gonna say, Jared?
I was. Can we go to the pastry chefs?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
we
the
can,
cutting thing.
Can
I forgot
we
about
can we
that
do
entirely.
can we do a quick recap on each one of the chefs, because I think each one of the chefs represents a very unique cross section of society.
okay, so we already talked about the guy who curses a lot. Forgot his name.
The bearded guy.
Bearded guy.
His second in command.
Yeah, the
Carly.
lady. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Black lady who looks like Brittany Griner.
Racist.
kind of.
Wow, the silence there. I thought that was gonna kill.
I mean, kind of. Yeah, looks like her, but
Okay,
not
fuck
enough.
me.
She's
Not
a
nearly
tall,
enough.
thin,
Yeah,
athletic
yeah.
woman, biracial.
Oh, that was the third. That was the third descriptor you used.
Ooh. Okay. What do we think she represents? What is she symbolizing, or what is her dynamic
interesting.
in the environment?
Well, she's the neutral good. Like she is sort of. If there was one of
Okay.
those cross sections, she's.
I say she's competence. That's what I think she demonstrates is competence.
Confidence or competence?
Competence with the P.
Yeah, I'm with you. But under-recognized, undervalued competence. Yeah.
And the true backbone of what many organizations are, where you have this guy Andy who has probably not been performing well, it seems like, for an extended time, but being able to shield that, be shielded by competent people like Carly.
Yeah, he's kind of the middle manager that coasts on the young talent,
the coattails.
the still thirsty young talent. Yeah.
Any other commentary on
Well, it's
Carly?
interesting. They talk about it later when he's at the table with the celebrity chef, where he's like, some kitchens have great chefs and a bad team, and other kitchens have a bad chef and a great team.
Yeah.
right? And so that's might be
I
how he
think he
sees
views himself as the shit chef and a good team.
Oh, definitely.
You think he has a lot of self-awareness, Jared, is what I'm
I think he hates himself, which then
maybe, but
we'll
sometimes you
move to
can
the
hate
pastry
yourself without
chef.
being aware of what you are.
We'll move to the pastry chef,
Okay.
who is a mother-son dynamic, which I thought was
Was that her
interesting.
son?
I didn't
Yes,
see. Oh, but you mean like actually mother son, or you
the
mean
actual
like
mother-son. Yeah,
No, no. I think that was just the. I don't think they were related. You just assumed. Weird.
I don't know if it totally matters the details there, but yeah, the
I'm,
woman is like kind of like a motherly figure, and the gay son has a mental problem.
Whoa! How'd you know
He's gay.
that?
He's gay. He's twinked up as hell.
Pretty funny
oh,
reveal.
because he had his sleeves down,
Yeah, yeah.
and the head chef said, "Oh, put your sleeves up if you want to look like a chef."
What do you think he's sad about? What do you think he's depressed about?
Being twinked up.
He is making pastries, so Danny, it does
I
have
mean,
a
but
point there.
he's got skills. He makes a delicious little thing, a little
Well, it was too
filling.
tart to begin
It was
with,
too tart, and he probably cut himself right then.
which goes back
No,
to
then he
another.
fixes it, and then they're gushing over it. But yeah, he should have gotten it right the first time.
Well, here's
And the
why it was
gushing
really
over it was
gross.
perhaps because they know that he's the type to be twinked up and cutting himself.
Here's the other part. I will get back to
Mm.
the twinked up cutting self, but I was so pissed off, and I realized they really deserve that 5 to 3 downgrade in their health rating. Notice they double dipped when they're
Yeah. Oh,
tasting that.
they're double
Fucking disgusting.
dipping. They're touching their nose
No gloves,
constantly.
and
They're
he's got cutting himself scabs all over the place.
Oh,
True.
yeah.
Fucking gross kitchen. No wonder someone almost
Yeah, the health
dies.
inspector should have done a cutting check on everyone.
Sure, half the restaurant got hepatitis as well.
Yeah, it
Or
was
AIDS, even.
totally agree. So that's some
You
interesting.
can you get AIDS by eating that?
I don't think so.
I don't
Actually,
think
I don't know.
so.
Bodily fluids plus bodily fluids. It's possible.
Yeah, maybe if I don't know now.
It probably would have to be it's too slow of a transmission.
Yeah.
I'd
I think.
love to transition to the dining room at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're not doing the character rundown anymore.
Well,
We're
how
not,
much?
I guess.
Who else is left in there? Those are
We
all the
have the French
Latina
chefs.
who's
chef,
angry,
the chef.
dishwashing and pregnant.
Oh, you want to go over the dishwashers?
Oh yeah,
There's the
yeah,
black guy.
classic. They have a pregnant woman who is I don't know what ethnicity she was, but she's not
Latina.
British. Um,
He's a Latina.
Sent back to the dishes.
No, she's Spanish. I don't think she was Latina.
Yeah, that's why I was struggling out. She might have been a Spaniard.
She was from Spain.
Or whatever. But they have a pregnant woman who's very pregnant from the
Yeah, good
depiction,
lord.
handling
A
dishes with
big
chemical
pot's gonna send
exposure.
that thing
Ain't
right
nobody
back
with a
up.
daft debate to that.
Yeah, that's not good bath debate. You could have moved her to somewhere else in the house to help, facilitate her needs and limitations
Well,
or
she's
health conditions.
she's
Oh,
a
she
low
one of the
wage
people
employee.
she one of the people that they're going to
Well, you
send
don't
out.
think she should work
Them.
there. You think she should have to. You think she should be paid $1 million to wash a pot in a pan. That's what you think she should.
No, I'm just saying that, like, if you want to retain talent and make her feel valued as a team member, you say, hey, we want to look out for you and your child, and we'll move you to a different part of the house for the time being if you would like that. And
Where
she
else
won't.
is
She
she going
probably
to
doesn't have the
go?
requisite
She does
skills, though.
not. Yeah, she does not have
This
the
DEI
soft.
is over. We hire people. What's the
But she
colorblind
doesn't have the
meritocratic
she
society
doesn't have the soft
nowadays?
skills.
She
Are you
has
saying
no
people
soft
can't
skills. She's built for the. She's built for the scrubbing, the scrub
built
daddy, and that is what she's meant to be
Going
doing.
built?
for it.
Oh my gosh.
There's a reason she's back there, and there's a reason why she's the best in the game at it. She,
Then there's the classic lazy black guy watching
Oh
soccer.
my
whoa,
god. This is why I wanted a character
whoa.
analysis. Your true colors are coming out.
We're gonna edit
No,
that one
no,
out.
We're not cutting
no,
that out.
no. That is staying because you guys are staying by it. And this all goes back to your original
What do you
comment,
think?
Tim. You don't think these people who are working at this restaurant are worth their wage. They deserve to be in the positions they are, and they probably made all those drug addict mistakes and caused them to get in food services. Your narrative.
Oh,
I do think it's interesting though that like they did pick very like paradigmatic individuals for each of the roles.
BAF debate.
Yeah, like in some sense it is important that they picked like a Latina and a lazy black guy to be the dishwashers. In a sense that's not like this is reality or like anything, but like
British
they
people
were like
also are
that's the
pretty
right
bad.
decision to make. you know?
Yeah. People forget Britain might be significantly more racist than America.
Well, that's a good transition to the wait staff, right? Because we see that one blonde chick roll up late and the table's loving her.
Everyone loves
And
her, and
then they
then
switch her to the
yep.
black chick and she gets a lot of hate from the
Well, I
white guy,
wouldn't
the
say
rich
the
white
table
guy.
was really loving her
No, they
necessarily.
were so polite to her. What are you?
Yeah, they were
He
liking the
blew
white
out the
girl.
polite. He blew it out.
Whoa.
One left.
One left. Make a
Another one bites
wish.
the dust. Yeah, they were very nice to the blonde chick when
Now
she
this is
showed
going
up,
to
and
ruin
she
This is
doesn't
going
get
to ruin
reprimanded for being late.
continuity. Sorry. What'd you say?
She doesn't get reprimanded for being late. You know?
Yeah, she's like an actress or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas the
The
black chick gets a
bartender
lot of
hits
hate.
on her.
Yep.
Meanwhile, when the black guy shows up late, the dishwasher, he's getting all hell.
Yep. Although to be fair, he did leave a pregnant woman stranded.
That's a really good point. That's a good point, guys.
Yeah.
And you guys are,
Literally mini messages. What about our French salad chef? I don't know. I think the fresh chef, fresh.
Oh, the chick who messes up.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh
I
yeah.
didn't
Yeah,
really
the
care
one
that
who
much about
kind of.
her, honestly.
Yeah, she kind of just her
Yeah, one of
character
these
development was minimal.
purple haired, Cookie Monster pants
Stop
sort of
with that
thing.
talk. I don't know why you're so fixated on that.
What happened to you on the
You knew
streets?
she was going on with Cookie Monster. She just flipped on this Cookie Monster
And
pajama
then
pants.
there's the other guy who's the it wasn't his station. I don't know what his regular
Those
station was,
two,
but
those two
he was
characters
working
are sort
waitress.
of, they're just other chefs. There's nothing.
Yeah, I agree.
Well,
I'm
other
trying to think if there's
chefs.
anyone else at all. Then
Dude,
the
the one
celebrity
almost
chef.
kills a person.
Yeah, but that's
No.
all her character's good for. There's nothing else
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Ambiguous fall guy. And then there's the celebrity chef and the food critic. There's
Yeah.
the couple that's there to be engaged.
There's the influencers, and then there's the
The
table
mean
that's trying to
table,
the table that's trying to flex, sent the lamb back in one of the most
which
expensive
I
bottle of
think
wine.
was the funniest table.
Oh, and there's the gay waiter and the
The
American
group of
girls.
Americans.
Yeah, yes. And then
Uh,
there's the one bartender who is very minor.
Yep. Who sort of like is seeing Robin or that one waitress.
Yeah, they're definitely dating. I think they say I love you.
So it's kind of interesting to see these little, and these little relationships play out. And I guess it's kind of fun for people
It's
who
what a
like
workplace is. We felt, think
it.
about this, in less than 2 hours, we felt like we got to know a little bit of everyone.
Right. And it feels like this is for people
But
who
only
are,
as archetypes, only as
yeah.
surfaces.
Well, isn't that what sometimes workplace relationships really are?
But
No, but
How many?
they're deeper.
if you're
Like,
making a movie, why traffic in only appearances? If you're going to spend years and millions making something,
yeah.
why gloss over everything? Just to tell like a relatively modest story.
Because isn't that maybe what life is? Is just a modest story at best.
Well, it's a slice of life, right? That's what they're
Yeah.
saying. But I agree
Right?
where it's
Like
it's
Pretty
so
cherry picked slice of life.
Birdman had this huge epiphany at the end of it, whereas this is like, had a little bit of a. I don't. I'll save my ending commentary here shortly.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. It's surface level. This shit goes as deep as a 2-inch hole in the ground.
I would have loved to see a continuous shot movie of one character where you get to know them.
I would like that if it was Andy the whole time.
Or even any of those characters are pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought like the gay character was the gay waiter was sort of interesting.
Yeah.
And then that's it. They just show him interact once and like that's
Do you
kind
think
of
he
it.
has cut marks, Danny? Do you think he was cutting?
No, he seemed actually pretty happy other than like
Having to exaggerate his
yeah.
sexuality to
Yeah.
appease.
They spent a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
think the depiction of Americans is quite interesting. The Americans in some sense are like almost as obnoxious as the influencers.
Yeah.
No, they're just what are you talking about?
They're
He
Because
hates them. And they all
they're
are like, oh, the Americans going out tonight. Like the depiction of Americans is like the pretty classic European trope of like obnoxious, loose with money.
but they're all on vacation. They're on holiday, it seems like for the most
yeah.
Right.
part. Like,
Yeah.
they're visitors.
As MJ Lenderman says, I know everyone's on their worst on vacation. Or something like that.
It's facts. Um
Come on, Tim, drive this.
so that one table, yeah,
I
we
think he has
talked
ADD.
we mentioned that one table. All right. I'm leaving. All right, so that one table that we talked about, the mean table with the wine, the snob.
Yes.
It's pretty funny what they do. Like, do they not teach you how to serve wine? That's a 200-pound bottle of wine right there. And then, like, she's
Yeah,
rushing him.
he was bag checking her
And,
every
and he's
step
like,
of the
let
way.
the wine breathe a little bit, will ya? Why don't you just leave the bottles? We'll take care of it from here. I mean, horrible.
My mom
It
did
was. It
something like
was.
that at a restaurant last week. I was actually really
Oh,
upset.
no. And
Wait,
It was
what?
before. It
and I
wasn't a
was,
$200 bottle. It was a $40 bottle
all
too,
I
which
could
is
think,
even more obnoxious.
yeah, that's hilarious. All I could think of were those other people at the table, and it's like, they're probably dreading this,
Well, the one kid
Yeah,
didn't
there
even
was
want to
some good
drink.
like the actor, the waiter that they end up with, the black woman. He
Yes.
makes interesting eye contact with the others at the table, and I'm sure we've all been at a table where the waiter is like kind of
Yes.
like vibe checking the other people at the table.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, am I taking crazy pills or is something weird happening?
I had a family member that was, it was always scary. Like, what are they going to fucking say?
Uh-huh.
What are they
Mommy,
going to
daddy.
say? Not my mommy or daddy, no.
Okay.
But
Hank?
no,
Yeah, it was Hank.
it was my cat. My cat was really rude to the waiter.
Don't you see I have 3 legs?
When you were at Wawa, when you were at Wawa ever, Daniel, did you ever have a customer that was, you're like, this ain't how you make the fucking sub?
Yes.
Wow. And did you vibe check with the other people? He's like, are you serious?
No,
Well,
I was
usually
just
at
like,
Wawa,
okay,
they're
I'll
by
remake it.
themselves. I had that happen at Costco when I made a sundae, and it was in Costco. It's in cups, so it's like it's just
It's already
slop.
pre-made.
No, it's you use an ice cream machine where it pours it out, but their ice cream mix comes out very unevenly. So my like perfect swirl was not great, and it kind of like
So
stacked
it
on
wasn't
itself.
I'm loving these
perfect.
hand motions, Jared. You're teaching us how to BAFTA
BAFTA, I was BAFTA fading, and yeah, I gave it to this. Not that size always matters, but this person was morbidly obese, and these Sundays are $1.25, I believe. And they're like, that's not the standard. You need to make this again. And I
Wow.
just looked at him as a 27-year-old man or 26-year-old man
Sad.
with, not saying I'm better than anyone, but with a lot of years of food service. And I just said, I told the person, it might not get any better, but I hope you're happy.
Really?
Yes.
That's
What
a
are they going
crazy
to do?
line.
Fire me from Costco?
That's a crazy line.
Yeah, well, I thought because that made
And
that larger
everybody
person.
clapped.
No one clapped. I went back to serving hot dogs and slices of pizza right after. Yeah,
This
but
scene with
imagine being that upset about $1.25. I don't know what your hoagie
Oh my
was.
God, Jared, rant over. Come on, let's
I
get
mean,
to
Oh,
train
people
track on the
people
tracks.
often rant about the less something costs, the more they rant about something. It's just
McDonald's. If
Yeah.
someone would send something back, we would just. When I did this back in 2015, we would just load it up with mustard, no matter what they said was wrong with it. You just drown it in mustard.
Well,
Because
because
then
like
if they
there's a
come back a
pressure
second
to
time,
enjoy higher price experiences. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
yeah,
that you'll
Like
oh,
a restaurant that's very expensive, the food's gonna taste better because you want it to taste better because you want to believe that you haven't misspent your
right.
money.
Yeah.
meanwhile,
Yeah.
$2 burrito at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Is the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another table that comes in, a girl shows up looking. So the engagement guy, he's already there, and they call him, oh, is this the engagement
He was
guy?
drinking alone at the bar beforehand.
He was getting a little pregame. He's nervous. And
That
then
was Jared. Jared bought a vape the day he proposed.
oh,
I did.
and then a girl shows up looking for her date at this point.
And had McDonald's that day.
That's funny.
A girl shows up at the restaurant, goes to the maitre d, and she's like, "Oh, you must be Mary." And it's like,
Maitre d's nuts.
and it's well, she almost fucked it up right then and there. It's like, why would she know her name?
Yeah, that was I was infuriated
I
at
was like, "Are
that.
you stupid?"
Yeah.
Um, Rebecca brought up a good point that if she would be upset, and I was curious on this, of like
Get
if
her
you're
on the
engaged.
pod.
I imagine she's just on the other side of the camera, like
No,
watching Jared.
I wanted to have her as a guest star tonight talking about health inspectors because she has had multiple health inspectors that she was the person in charge of showing them through. She didn't want to, mainly because of Tim's bigotry. But But where the hell was I going with this? Oh, engagement night. If you
Yeah.
were having as two men who have yet to propose to significant others, Danny, it's no pressure. Tim, the cuts and bruises are just mounting up these days, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Do you think it is nice to make your significant other show up to the restaurant alone? Like, hey, they have to go get there on themselves and you're waiting at the
Well,
restaurant? Or do you pick them up and like wine and dine them like, hi, I pick you up at your apartment. Maybe I
well,
bring
it
you
sounded like
flowers.
Yeah, she was coming from
she
work.
was coming from work.
That's
She's like,
like life. That's just sometimes that happens.
yeah.
Okay. I was wondering that.
However, along those lines, I do think that if I were the type of person that would propose at a restaurant, I would not alert people who would possibly botch it.
Well, he probably thought he was being wise that it was a small select group of like, hey, bartender, manager, and that was it.
Well, he had emailed them about like her allergy, so I bet that.
Right.
So like again, he's almost fumbling the bag because he's
Uh-huh.
like, why would you even email them about that?
No, he wanted to make it perfect.
I know, but
Also, again,
then why would you reveal that you emailed in front of the fiance? Like the
Yeah,
future
he
fiance,
overdid it. He overdid the whole thing.
totally overdid it. He's showing his cards. He's like, "Did you get the list of the allergies?" And then she's just like, "I'm allergic to nuts." It's like you don't need to send a list for that.
no, you've never done like reservations at Michelin stars where like it's an online
No,
reservation
I've
it does
never
ask for
done a
allergies.
Michelin star reservation. I'm not, a part of the 1%. Unlike you,
Oh,
you
I'm sorry, you're just stealing McNuggets on your DoorDash runs.
No, but Jared is right. On both Resi and Open Table,
Yeah, not even
you
Michelin
put
stars.
in
Open
like
Table
they
does
ask
it.
special occasions and they ask dietary restrictions.
Yeah, I don't think he went overboard with it.
But I think that even still, I would not indicate an engagement happening on that in case someone fucked it up.
That's
well,
uh, that's fair.
and it's interesting here. The maitre d' she writes it down on a piece of paper, rips it out of her notebook, and then hands it to the waitress.
Tim, do you
Um,
not take your SO to any like nice places?
yeah, I do, but you don't. You just make a reservation. You don't do all this weird shit. You guys are weird. I'm just saying you don't
I will say I
email
once had
someone.
an SO with a deadly nut allergy, and we once traveled to a place with a that was predominantly not English speaking, and we had to carry around a screenshot of the Google Translate of like I am allergic to XYZ.
That's
Mm,
fair,
Yeah.
and that's a very unique circumstance.
No, but like I can empathize with the guy. Very
Yeah,
easily empathize
yeah,
with the
okay.
guy.
This
you don't
situation
want to
never been in.
die.
I don't spend time with people who are allergic to nuts. I think they're weirdos. I think they're.
Oh yeah, in retrospect, I'm never doing that again. I'm literally
Based on your
eating peanut
dry
butter
spell,
with a spoon right fucking now.
based on your dry spell, Tim, it sounds like you're with someone who's allergic to nuts.
All right. So
Don't need
that's
AI to make that joke.
you gotta like turn it down, all right? Because where you're
He's
at this
drinking.
pod
He's drinking.
is
He's drinking.
so. It's like it's because he can see me. He's just like only his focus.
Oh.
He's got a little crush on me, so he better watch his fucking mouth.
It's because of your haircut, John. Accept the compliment and move on.
All right. So there's the allergy. So there's the allergy to nuts. She writes it on a piece of paper, gives it to the waitress. So doesn't put it in the system, which the maitre d' should know that there's a system and it needs to go in the system. And so immediately at this point in the film, I knew there was going to be a problem with the peanut allergy. What about
Yes,
you
that was
guys?
the really annoying part was how telegraphed that was.
I was too stupid. I didn't really think about it, and I was actually caught a little bit by surprise.
Wow.
That's funny.
Here's
That
Also,
is the most obvious thing in the world.
this movie was really boring to me, so there's a lot of details I just chose to ignore throughout it.
yeah, definitely hit a lull, but
Yeah,
so let's move ahead a little bit. Let's go to the influencers, right?
yeah.
Yeah, sure.
They're sitting in the corner, and they're a couple of blokes, some British blokes, and they want steaks. They want bloody hell. There's no steaks on the menu.
It's a restaurant. How don't you have steak and
How do you
chips?
know? We just want steak and chips.
That's like actually crazy behavior.
Yeah, incredibly rude. He's from an influencer from like I guess the show is sort of like a Love Island sort of deal.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
or
seems like
yeah.
it. Yeah.
And he's like, I have 30,000 followers. That's also not that much.
It's not that
There's
many.
there's like
It's
basic
like yeah,
basic hoes on Instagram with that
yeah,
like aren't
like
even good
Fishy
looking with
Film
that.
Fridays is about a month away from 30,000
Yeah. Yeah.
subscribers.
And like you think I'm gonna be going to Red Robin like upset that they don't have fish sandwiches?
Yeah, but this isn't a Fred Robin. But they had steak
Yeah, I think you have to
tartare.
have a personal connection with the chef to pull that shit off.
Yeah, and then the guy like is Instagram living, and he's like, "They don't have steaks." Did you see the catch that? It's just
Have you
so
guys witnessed
weird.
this in real life before?
No, I mean I'd be
People
like,
Instagram living and like bitching about something. I have
No,
been the
like trying to
subject of them
use
bitching
clout
about.
for
Yes, all the
something.
time. Yes.
I've never seen someone try to do
It's
Where
a
have
that.
you seen it?
sluggers
What
and
was it?
sluggers and putters has been a problem.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I've
They
had
want like a
people,
fast pass or something.
or like they'll try to be like, "We're here for family fun. Give us a deal. Give us a deal." And you're just looking at them. I'm like, you really think like this 16-year-old working behind this counter is like okay with you just broadcasting them to the world?
Oh,
Yeah,
weird.
such scummy behavior.
Yeah, it's a certain level, and like the worst part is, I did look up one of the people, and they had like in the only the hundreds of followers. I'm like, you're just sending this to like what your cousins?
No, like people legitimately think they're stars at a level which is not commensurate with stardom.
It's bad.
Every
It's really
like we've
bad.
created a society of stars, but no one is actually a star.
Except the Rizzler.
Yeah, I mean like yeah, people become stars. We're in the clout era where you just do something for clout and then you milk the clout for far as long as you can.
And that's not what Fishy Film's about. We don't care
Just like
about the clout
Jared's
here.
2015 McDonald's experience, milk it as long as you can.
Yep.
He's masturbating again.
But I think the most annoying part is the waitress goes and gets the manager, and then the manager's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, we'll get steaks for you." I'm
Totally
like,
undermines the waitress.
and I'm like, "You're supposed to be pushing fish and veg, and
Oh, good point.
you just said yes to steaks."
Yeah, totally not Fishy Film kosher. Very
Bl-
upset.
blows this information blows up the kitchen, wouldn't you say? They're
Yeah.
pissed.
Well, what do you think triggered them more? The steak and chips, or when the lamb gets sent back from the shitty people table?
Right. The
Oh,
lamb
I thought
is
I interpreted it as the anger as the maitre d going over their heads.
yes, they're pissed at
Not so
that.
much the influencer's request, but influencers are going to be annoying. That's just what
Because
an influencer is.
right, because they did have the steaks in the freezer. Like they did have it. They had beef.
Yeah.
But
But yeah,
maitre
the
d'
lamb situation was funny.
Yeah, I like the
As
kitchen's
as a
reaction to the
big
lamb a
fan of
lot
lamb
better.
as a meat, that actually hit home with me pretty
Oh,
hard.
I was so pissed for them. I
Yeah.
can't believe.
yeah, I mean, I don't send food back unless I've
It
never
takes a
sent
certain
food
level of
back.
fucked up for me to send it back.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever sent food back?
Not no.
Um, I have just what I don't do. I don't send it back. I said like I just won't eat it, and I'll leave it there. And like, oh, are you not happy with this? I'm like, yeah. It like I've only done this on like, maybe 2, 3 level times in past 5 years. But like, I just want to eat because if I send it back,
Just crazy because you'll
I'm
eat
afraid I'm gonna
anything.
get fucked with.
Yeah.
Have you seen Thank You for Waiting
No.
with the Ryan Reynolds, Dane Cook?
No.
I literally no
Oh
idea
Oh,
what you're
God,
talking
I
about.
will stay far away from that.
it is. It shows you what the kitchen staffs that Danny describes are doing to your food if you send this shit back.
Oh,
They poop
yeah.
on
Oh,
it.
loogies on it, pubes, rubbing it on their balls, like kicking it on the floor. Like it exists.
I mean, I
It
was
might
at
not
a
happen. It might not be at this kitchen because this is a fine dining and it's an open kitchen. But at an Applebee's or something, oh, those fuckers are messing with you.
oh yeah, yeah. Don't send food back at Applebee's.
You just suck it up. You're like, well, this is what I get. This is Applebee's.
I was at a restaurant with my mom, and she had a wad of hair in her salad. She sent that back, and that was pretty shocking.
Like a wad, like not just
Like,
not a
like at
stray.
the hair you'd find in the bottom of your drain.
Whoa.
Oh.
It was like, how the fuck did that get there?
No, at that point, they lost their opportunity to serve you, and I just don't want the meal. I'm just not coming back.
Yeah,
I was recently at one of the best restaurants in Philadelphia, and it's in like an old school building, and it's like 15, 20 stories tall. And this restaurant's in the top floor, and then the rest are like hair salons, art galleries, cafes, that sort of thing. It's like a business.
Sounds
It's hard to
very
explain.
yuppie.
What?
This sounds very yuppie. Did
It
something
is
happen to your
100%
food? What
yuppie.
was the story
And
for it?
we're all the way up there on the 20th floor. We're eating our little very expensive pastas, and we see not one but two mice running around the
Oh,
floor.
you jumped on the table. You're like,
No, we didn't do anything
Mars.
about it because,
No, it
like,
was like Ratatouille.
realistic, yeah. But like realistically, like if you're in an abandoned school building that's that tall, that's gonna happen. But like I could imagine someone else having experienced that and not been as understanding. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I had the experience when last week someone undercooked pasta. I didn't finish it, and I just told the waitress straight up, so whoever's boiling the pasta needs to know how long to boil it.
Maybe you think it's al dente.
Oh, I took my pasta medium
Wait,
rare.
was this the pasta dinner that you sent photos of?
No, different pasta night. I had pasta two
Damn,
nights in a
fat
row.
ass, get it under control.
I loved it, man. Fucking loved it.
That's ridiculous. Pasta that many times out?
I had pasta 3 times last week, man.
Jared, this is why you got your gallbladder removed.
Pasta's fine.
Tim, drive the ship.
All right, and so it's after this point that the manager goes into.
Oh.
He's been yawning every time I'm speaking,
That's pretty good psychological warfare,
and I'm
honestly.
so gentlemanly when you talk about your stupid movies.
All right, let's relax. Drive the ship. Don't be
All
distracted by
right,
little tricks.
so this is when the maitre d's crying in the bathroom. Not really. Oh, there's not really much left to note here. I'm not really interested in what the celebrity chef has to say. I don't know about you guys, but
Oh, I actually kind of found that interesting. I have a discussion question,
mm,
which is like, have you guys ever found yourself in the situation of Stephen Graham's character where you are mistakenly aiming to please the douchebag instead of pleasing the expert?
oh, oh, wow. An expert being the food critic.
Yeah.
I mean, probably,
Well, I thought he
yeah.
was there to please the expert. I took
My
that impression.
interpretation of that sequence of events is that he was much more concerned with the celebrity chef. In the conversational dynamics, for sure, potentially in the response in the cooking department as well. And I don't know, I just thought that was a very interesting thing where, like, sometimes there's a person in your life who is not worth impressing. Their
Yeah.
opinion shouldn't matter to you because you're better than them in every way. You know better than them in every way, but you still try to please them because of like a sick, twisted power dynamic that's developed over years and years, instead of trying to please, like, instead of putting your efforts where they're better served.
You know
I thought
what?
it was very interesting.
I get what you're saying. So if like I'm sitting at a table with Tim and you're serving
There
us,
we go.
you're there to please me.
No, I mean, you guys are not exactly what I have in mind at all. But like, like there's like the fake cool kids and then there's the real cool kids, and you're
Yeah.
like interested in the fake cool kids wanting you, and like I feel like
Yeah,
that's like
yeah.
high
No,
school
it's
is in a
yeah, definitely a
Oh
nutshell.
yeah.
school thing for sure.
Yeah. And then I think like sometimes I fall into this trap professionally as
Yeah. Oh,
well.
it happens at
Oh,
work
like
for
like
sure.
Yeah.
rushing in sophomore year.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting. I think it's also interesting that the douchebag who doesn't actually know anything is a man, a tall white man, and then the critic is a woman, and she's
Mm-hmm.
being overlooked here. Her expertise is being overlooked.
Ah,
I don't know.
it is
She's
I
interesting
also
thought
when
that
being
she.
was
manipulated. She
well,
thinks
and
it's
it's
like
also
a
an interesting
date.
comment on the state of the food industry, right? Like the only way you get famous is from TV, not from actually being good at your
Yeah.
job.
True.
Right.
And the way that the celebrity chef's opinion differs from the food critic's opinion was interesting.
Oh.
Because he wants the
Well,
spice, he
he's
wants the
nitpicking.
za'atar
He's
seasoning, he
nitpicking
wants the
so bad.
flash, he wants the style over substance, and she's like, "No, I want good, honest cooking."
Oh,
If
true.
anything, that comment is where Harvey Picar enters the film.
Yeah, yeah. He would
So
love
that's
her.
that's the Harvey table.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
I the critic is interesting too because she at one point leaves the table. and talks to her kids, I guess, and she's like
It's
complaining about her kids.
Christmas Eve. That's why.
I don't think it's Christmas Eve,
I
but
really don't think it's Christmas Eve either.
she's like, I can't just get one night. Sometimes I just need one night. And it's funny because the chef's like, I haven't been there in many nights. You know,
Yes.
he's been a deadbeat dad.
Yes.
She kind of hits him over the head with it. I'm gonna argue this is the point of the peanut disaster of the film.
Walnut. It was a walnut disaster.
It was a walnut disaster. Oh.
Also, that severity of nut allergy, you ain't going out to public to eat.
Once again, my experience would beg to differ.
How about theory? She actually knew because they were so obvious that he was going to propose and she did not want to be proposed to. She faked an allergy to get out of the proposal.
Oh.
Well, this actually did have very strong J. Red undertones because J. Red planned to propose on a certain day, and there was a food illness
Foodborne illness. Yeah,
situation. Yeah.
there was.
And it made me think, like, not so much actually the element of the allergy attack itself, but prior, when she shows up late from work separately and she's like, oh, it was a shitty day at work. Like,
She's trying to
engagements are
set up.
tricky because sometimes you schedule it and your girlfriend's in a bad mood, you know?
Yeah,
Rebecca,
No, we're not.
did you
We're not.
fake being sick on New Year's Eve because you thought I was going to propose? So you just had the poopy whoopies, actually? Okay, me too.
Jared had a gun under the table.
Yeah, she did not fake being sick. We were actually sick.
Oh, cool.
Should not have got the horse.
But it's such a high pressure day. Like,
Horse.
imagine if you guys got in a fight that day, Jared. Would you like have carried on instead of food poisoning?
That's why you got to make sure there isn't a fight. So I had the opportunity that I had an extra whole week in the best country, Italy, to go make another opportunity. This guy maybe only had that one night.
Rare anti-American take there, right there.
Dude, he's been anti-American this whole time. Like, bro is a China sleeper cell.
I don't know. We kind of met him when my first memory of Jared is wearing American flag chubbies. So,
Would that not be the perfect person to then make a sleeper agent?
I said it's the most
Jared
beautiful
is
country.
deep seek.
He's deep seek.
Like the religion, the Indian religion, Sikh.
And Deep is his name.
I was in India last year.
Huh?
You know, we need to start doing Bollywood films. That would be something. You
Fuck
could-
I almost did RRR. That would have been fun.
Oh,
but
I
it's
would've
4
actually-
hours long.
I would have been so pissed.
Oh
at
shit!
you.
I didn't think about one to pick. Oh well. Okay.
All right, so you got a little bit of time. So Tim, I'm going to drive a little bit right now because
Yeah,
You're
my
not
notes-
driving at all. Asleep at the wheel.
This is a fucking.
This is a
boat
great
adrift in-
podcast so far.
This is a ship.
This is the Francis Scott Key Bridge all over again.
Yeah, dude, you are. That was good, Danny. Oh, learn how to build a fucking bridge, Tim. All right.
Your Wally
The
episode
food-
was fucking trash. We're getting nothing. We got 3 dislikes on it.
Oh my
No
god! Shut
likes.
up and just
3
let's talk about
dislikes?
the movie.
Because it's probably the 8-year-olds who think they clicked on the
Movie.
real
Let's talk
Wally.
about the.
It's definitely
So
that.
the peanut allergy happens, and the woman almost dies.
They get the
And then
ambulance
there's a question
there.
of blame.
His celebrity chef guy shows a very realistic thing is like the head honchos will always find a way to not
take
ever hold themselves
advantage.
together. Yeah, to push to almost throwing Carly under the table. It's Carly's fault. It's Carly's fault. Carly was the second in command chef.
Yeah, and he's like, I've got a great PR firm.
It reminds me of incidents from my own life that we will not discuss on air.
Yeah, which is
Ah.
crazy to think, like how we're about to put probably the most competent person in the restaurant at blame and blacklist her from potentially the whole restaurant industry of the greater London area.
Just to take the fall and help these fucking drunks out.
Yeah. And you know what? Andy was about to do it.
Do you
And
think
then-
so?
I think he really considered it. He probably felt that the pressure.
Well, do you think
But
he
then
would?
it turns out that it's this French woman after the investigation, and he begins to place it on her. And then he walks it back and says it's my fault.
Yeah. Well, then his cook,
So I don't
like,
think he's this. I think it was his gut instinct is self-preservation to begin with, and
yep.
then he kind of like. And I don't think that really the shift to being honorable is actually or
I don't
explainable.
think it was ever honorable. I
Well,
think
because
it's
he's
just
got
Yeah.
everyone realized. I think everyone realized it's actually your fucking fault, Andy.
Yeah.
As the other guy called him out, like, and they almost fought.
yeah.
But also in an
And
interesting sense, it's everyone's fault.
how the fuck is it the dishwasher's fault?
No, okay, not the dishwasher's fault, but it's the maitre d's fault for sure. It's the head chef's fault for sure. I think it might be the young chef's fault as well for like not double checking. Like it's dispersed blame, I
Yeah, and
think.
this is what
So
happens
what?
at kitchens probably is like things aren't just one person's
So
fault.
They're a
Danny, as
team.
what
They're
you
literally a
call,
team. They're jointly responsible.
Yeah,
so
when
what
Mark
you're calling
Andrews drops a ball in the Ravens pro season, like it's not just his fault. You got to blame Lamar for the
the
pen for the.
concept you guys are talking, as Danny brought up, and this is Saul in operations management, is chronology.
Chronology?
Oh, nice.
Chronology.
Finally, this
Yes.
Jesus
NBA is
Christ, you
going
can't
to
even say
use.
chronology.
Here you go,
Yeah.
NBA coming to
Because
use
it
right
takes
now.
a series of events and a dispersion of issues and multiple failures for something tragic to happen. There could have been a possibility of a single point of failure where there might have been inevitable that she would have always put some walnut sauce on there somehow, but there's other fail-proof mechanisms that took place in that.
Some people refer to this as the Swiss cheese model of risk, where you're laying down slices of Swiss cheese, and if they land with all the holes in order, then you
Oh,
have a problem.
Yep,
And so your goal is to stack the Swiss cheese in your organization so that the holes don't line up.
that's
I have heard
interesting.
that. Yeah, are you
And
hearing that in your corporate environment, Tim?
no, but I see it all the time. I see it all
Oh,
the
good,
time.
good. I'm
I'm
glad
like,
you're
uh oh,
hearing that.
like that team shouldn't be together because they both.
How's your internship going? Is it doing okay?
Oh, hilarious.
Stop, Jared. So then after they go out to the ambulance, she goes home, whatever. And then what happens? They do the blame discussion. Is that
They
pretty
get in a
quickly
fight,
afterwards that he goes back to his little
office, and
office
does
area?
and does some blow and calls it a
So
year.
let's talk about the logistics of the office area. He has an office where he has cocaine on the desk and the handle of
Yeah,
vodka,
it's
and no one
so.
else ever goes in there.
Yeah, I was like, why isn't no one going in the back office?
Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't track at all.
But
Yeah,
that's just like
that's
what that's such a guys, guys being guys sort of room. Everybody's got a
yeah.
room like this in their
You got a
house.
coke room,
I don't have a room like this in my house because I have three rooms.
3 rooms. It's nice.
Thank you.
No alcohol in the house still.
Nope.
Good for you, Tim. What alcohol
Uh-uh.
you got in your house? What could
Jared,
you pull to Andy right
stop.
now?
Some high
What
noons or
could you?
something.
High
Some
nooners.
Nooners.
No coke.
Oh, I have some
Vivans.
Tito's. Got a couple bottles of Tito's.
Couple bottles.
Yeah,
You
I
got
don't know why.
no uppers at all.
Just downers.
So, okay, here's the question. Did we know that he was a cocaine addict the whole time?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I did not know at all.
I thought he was
How'd you
just a
know,
drunk.
John? How'd you know?
Oh. I thought you thought the kitchen knew.
No, like, did you know
No, I
as a
didn't.
viewer?
No, I didn't know he's on coke. I think he
Yeah, I didn't know he
was.
was on coke at all. I'd like to rewatch it and see if he was doing the classic coke movements.
Well, they were. There was a lot of nose touching. There was a lot of nose touching.
Maybe everyone's on
Jared,
coke.
thoughts?
I thought he was just a drunkard the whole time. And he was like just dealing with his hangover.
I like didn't pick up on either of those things.
Oh, but like him
I
showing
kind
up
of just thought he
late,
was like,
him being kicked out of the house, the drunk part would have made perfect sense.
yeah, I mean, he's a chef at a certain point.
Yeah,
These two things are kind of go with the territory.
yeah.
And
All
then
right.
he has the breakdown on the phone with his wife.
Saying he's going to go to rehab, tell the son.
Yeah, it's like, oh
But
no,
after he
bro.
just did
He says, I want to quit. I want to quit. He throws out the cocaine and the vodka.
but that
Which
was
is
after he just did a whole
yeah, which is
nose pull.
classic. That's
I'm
classic.
done. Ah.
Yeah.
I'm going to start my diet tomorrow as you're at Golden Corral.
Do we think it was a legitimate change or no? Like, was that actually his boiling point, or was that did they take the lid off after that and then starts heating up again? You know what I'm saying? Like boiling point is his breaking point, and that's supposed to be the breaking point of the film.
Yeah. I
Is
don't.
it
It didn't.
actually his boiling point?
No, it felt like worse things could happen. Like, bro, it's okay. He's
Right.
I think
We do
overreacting.
I
see
think the boiling point was when the fight broke out.
what fight?
With his other guy when he figured out it was really him.
You mean like the discussion in the dishwashing
Yeah,
room?
yeah, yeah. The post
Oh,
walnut incident.
yeah,
Post
okay.
walnut.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And then we see him die, presumably.
Yeah, dude. Bad PR. They need that PR for him. That ambulance is gonna be called twice to that restaurant
Oh, true.
in one
Do we think
night.
he died, Tim?
No, he didn't die.
Dude, it's just an OD from coke. Unless there was fet in that coke, but
It
it
was
seems
Well,
kind
like
of.
or it was a heart. It could have been a heart attack.
It was kind of funny how he fell down, though. Don't you think?
it was
kind
a
of
stress-induced fall down.
It was a good Pratt fall. And he's
Yeah.
kind of like shaking, like, and his arm goes back behind him.
Yeah.
It was like
It's
Damar
a
very
Hamlin.
good
stroke.
to me.
It's like Damar Hamlin.
Aneurysm? Damar.
Does not. You don't want to look like that.
Yeah, no, it's with bad luck. And then that's the end. It cuts to black, right?
Discussion question: have you guys ever OD'd like that?
No.
Drinking wise, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
Nice.
actually going to amend my answer to maybe not to be discussed on this podcast.
Why? I'm gonna discuss it.
I can't remember the grossest we've ever seen Tim get.
Yeah, because I keep myself in. I keep myself tight. But we don't have to discuss that stuff on the podcast.
That's fine.
Yeah, I actually can't actually think of a good incident. I'm sure there is one though.
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
that was a
How about-
good movie. Let's talk about final thoughts here.
Tim has been so over for the past 30 minutes, like not even here.
Well, I actually no. I've been here, and I think it's a shared podcast. So we talk, but I did run out of notes about halfway through the film, and
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, this water was definitely put in the freezer. It was not boiling.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I thought the movie concept is sort of interesting, and I thought there were some funny scenes for us to talk about, and I'm glad we talked about them. Is it the best movie ever? No. Is it the worst movie ever? No.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I'm going to give it a 3. I'm going to give it 3.
A 3.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have no other big picture thoughts about it?
Why did Tim go first? It's his movie pick.
I thought I was supposed to.
I don't remember what the rule is we developed.
Oh, well.
Usually the captain would always go first.
I guess
last.
I actually liked
Just like when the ship is sinking, like this episode.
I actually liked the one shot. I thought that was done well.
With one
it's
shot.
In the film. It was done well. It was it's a gimmicky, but it was done well. I thought, they were real characters. They were having very real banter and discussion with each other. And so that was sort of charming as well. And I agree with Danny's point. Like, it would have been interesting to see just one of these people's day in the life, even if it was the main character. That would have been more interesting than trying to hop around to all these different scenes within the scene. And some are just there to set up the next scene. So it's almost more like a one-act play than like a film.
Yes, it was giving very much play energy.
And I think that BAFTA, they should relook at how they're BAFTA baiting, because this stuff was not working.
They tried edging us, but no.
Yeah. So I'm giving it a 3.
Okay. Danny, do you want me to go next since you're going to
maybe since I have to declare the next film?
Yeah. I really agree with many of the sentiments you got, Tim. I kind of saw this movie very quickly for what it was after I found the other context of it, knowing it was a short film prior to that they expanded into this full-length feature, and also that they made a TV series out of this.
Oh yeah, they did. Starring the lady, starring the sous chef.
Yes, I think Shane Graham was in it too. Actually, regardless, it showed me that. Oh no, did he?
No.
Wait, oh no, again. Wait, maybe it is. Look that up on.
Dear God.
Okay, but going back, it was a commercial cash grab, and which is annoying because they definitely tried showing this as like, oh, we're an indie studio, like trying to show a good, authentic, unique take of a one-shot film, which Birdman did 7 years prior.
7 years? I didn't even put, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, 2014 was Birdman.
Okay.
This was 21. And that kind of pissed me off because like they probably saw this as like, oh, we're definitely going to get like great acclamation for trying to do the one take shot, especially in a more relatable environment like a restaurant, because everyone's
Mm-hmm.
worked at a restaurant at one point in their lives. Everyone's had that weird manager who's just cringe and doesn't know what they're doing. Everyone's had the asshole chef or the guy who's always showing up late. They're trying to make too many archetypes, as Danny was saying earlier in the review, that are very simplistic and you never really get vested that much in them. And they're just kind of peripheral characters that you think are going somewhere, but they have no development. They just existed. That being said, I was willing to tolerate the character development, but what pissed me off is like you reach this boiling point, and I was hoping that there'd be like some more better moral epiphany. Um, Instead of just going to a back room, which was never mentioned once prior or demonstrated once. If he kept going back and forth that room the entirety of the
Oh,
movie,
that
I
would
would
have
have
been
Mm,
been
interesting.
yeah,
yeah.
because like you could have maybe I don't want to say you would have seen it coming, but like it just
It
wouldn't
would
be
have
like,
added
oh,
tension.
there's a mountain of cocaine in the back office that he just found,
Yeah, and it's
and
like he never really fucked up. Like it was those around. I mean, it's a part of the team, and he's runs the kitchen.
yeah.
But wouldn't it have been interesting if like he fucked up majorly, and it was like for all to see? That would have been more impactful.
Mm.
Well, yeah, but I think it did show realistic. Like we try to hide our failures when we're in charge, which he tried doing and hiding, just like the manager tried hiding her failures too. But anyways, that ending pissed me off significantly. The intentions of this film pissed me off significantly because I don't think this movie was made with the right intentions. Execution wasn't that bad. Visually was a very nice set design. Um, and dialogue I thought was very believable and realistic. I didn't feel like any of this was that artificial. The only two interactions that felt very artificial was the influencers and the guy who was being a dick at the restaurant. But those are realistic people in life. It just I think I don't want them to be real. So that being said, I put this at a 2.5. Got an extra half point because the significant featuring of fish pushed the fish and veg.
Catholic podcast.
There,
Okay.
oh yeah,
I
there was
what?
fish in the film.
Yeah,
Yes.
they pushed the
It's
fish and
mentioned.
veg.
I don't know if we see it,
Yeah, did we see the
We
fish?
see the oysters.
Oysters aren't fish. I need
but you
scales.
can eat
Seafood.
them on Fridays.
You can.
Yeah. Um, I guess I've already given my take pretty early on when we asked about the single shot, because that, in my opinion, that's the only thing that happens in the movie. And it all functions in service of that one thing that happens. It's all like subsumed under that one goal of a one-shot movie. Beyond that, it's a generic moody chef slash crazy kitchen movie, which is an oversaturated market, aggressively so. Ones that come to mind, there's that Bradley Cooper one.
Yeah,
And then I just saw this movie called La Cucina at the Philadelphia Film Festival, starring Rooney Mara, among
oh,
other people.
was it good?
And it was like a 3 hour long, same thing where it's just like, look at us, we work in a kitchen and life is
Yeah,
hard, as if life isn't hard for everyone else. And that movie does the exact same thing that this movie does, which is, as you say, Tim, you kind of praised the movie for the slice of life, but it's a very cherry-picked slice of life. It's the day of life where everything happens, not the day of life where
mm-hmm.
nothing happened, which is almost every day of life,
Harvey
right?
Picar.
Yeah, exactly. So that pissed me off. I don't like the way that we treat the food industry and film and television. The Bear is another example of super masturbatory.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My other take is I'm not sure my feel about art made about other art. Here, art being used loosely and including the culinary arts. It feels
Yeah,
like film has trouble capturing other art forms properly because they don't know how to like understand it or translate it through their own medium. I was thinking about like movies about philosophers. They are pretty bad. Like the best I can think of is like
philosophy and art.
what's the one that's like
I thought it was the
the
science.
game theory one? A Beautiful Mind.
That movie
Um
rocks.
I
I
don't
do
think it
like
does it that well. Like it's like filmmakers are so they like romanticize and fetishize, and so they can't actually capture other art forms accurately, I think.
Yeah.
That's my other take about the film in general. All of those negative things said, it's probably a pretty technically challenging movie to pull off, so I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 5.
Wow, good score.
An attaboy. He gave it a nice little attaboy for
Yeah, I
trying.
gave
Wait,
it an attaboy.
Jared, sorry, what'd you give it?
2.5.
Oh, 2.5, lowest
No
score.
one has
Okay.
comments on my thoughts.
I mean, agree. I mean, I
Uh,
agree with you. I
I
think there are
pers-
What about
some
the second one, the spicier take?
the films that
the
can't.
art is difficult
I,
to
I mean, there are
capture.
some music biopics that are pretty well done,
I was
in
gonna
my
say,
Okay.
well,
Yeah,
I
maybe,
think
yeah.
I think food's difficult because food is a different type of medium in itself.
I kind of equate food and like being a chef is like a comedian almost. Where,
Okay, say more.
and I kind of agree where it's like, have there been any good movies about like a comedian? Like, not really. So I sort of
Yeah.
agree with that take there,
Why do you think chefs and comedians are similar?
because they elicit a happy response with their. I don't know why. It's just the vibes, bro.
Yeah,
Just
like
the
they're both late
vibes.
night creatures. They both often have
Yes.
issues.
Mm-hmm.
Comedians tend to think of themselves as like
Gods.
everyday truth tellers, and chefs are like an everyday art
The
form as
arbiters
well.
of culture, like we give you
I'm
food.
trying to think
Like
of any good movies about comedians. There's that Adam Sandler Funny People, which was terrible.
I mean, Seinfeld is kind of about comedy, but it's not. Oh, there's that terrible Rachel Sennett
Oh,
feature.
Louis. Well, we're
That's a
talking
TV
shows.
show. Yeah. Yeah, comedians tend to move towards television about them than films about them.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then like I was trying to think of other like painters, like there's like the Basquiat movie that's like kind of well regarded, or
there's some
like
good Van
Portrait
Gogh.
of a Lady on
There's some good Van
Fire.
Gogh's films. Like the one Van Gogh movie that's in the style of Van Gogh is like amazing. It's an
Right.
amazing
I
movie.
don't, it just feels like there's a certain untranslatability between these things. I don't know. I
I don't
guess,
disagree too much with what you're saying. I think you have a lot of validity to it, and I
okay.
think it would take a
But
good
I think of
exploration to see where we can find examples that counter it.
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I see film as like the ultimate art form because it combines all of these different arts into one, right? There's
And you don't have to
music,
read.
there's it can be a picture,
Screen.
it's a play, it's
It's
also
screen.
That was
it's
such a
screen.
this is such a Spielberg quote, dude.
But that's the magic of film.
It's screen.
It's
Or Scorsese type quote.
it's that's what's the beauty of film, right? I
Yeah, no,
mean,
I think you're onto
you
something.
can't do
You know,
that
I
on a
was a little disappointed about. None of the food looked that great in this film.
no, there were shots of food. It looked pretty good.
I honestly feel like the food was kind of not featured enough.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
wasn't featured enough, but
I
there were
kind
a
of want to get
few
like a little
shots.
foodgasm in it. I
I
was kind
actually
of
did
upset.
watch a really good movie about food at the end of last year that I can now not remember the name of. With my parents, it was like French or some shit.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter.
All
Ratatouille.
right.
But these
I
movies
think
are a
we
dime a dozen, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we've reached the soiling point of this episode.
LOL.
Um, Danny, what would you like us to dip our toes in next for the fish tank?
So I have two picks. The first one is my
And then
first choice, but if either of you has seen it, I'm gonna move to my second pick. Is that okay?
this is what democracy looks like.
I guess so. I
Yes.
guess we
Okay,
can
so
do
my
that.
first pick is 2020 starring Mads Mikkelsen, Another Round. John, have you seen that?
I have seen another round. Yeah,
What
have
I
you
haven't
seen
seen
another?
another round.
Okay, let's do another round.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
what's that? 2020.
Oh, it's
All right.
in fucking foreign language.
Jared, just open mind.
No, I haven't seen Joker.
Okay.
I haven't seen
Uh,
Joker though. I wanted to see
all right,
Joker.
Well,
Tim. This was
thank you,
your
Tim, for driving the ship.
Thank you
Thank you,
guys.
Jared, for almost making him kill himself.
No,
Thank you
listen,
to
this
our
is
viewers
Hey,
for.
Tim is the best pastry chef east of the Mississippi.
this is a good show, and listen, we're hamming it up, but
Hey,
this is a
big old
great.
fruit cake.
Thank you to our viewers far and wide for tuning in. We love you. I want to give a big thank you to all the overweight men in bars that I don't have any conversation topics with that I tell to watch our podcast.
A lot of fat
Nice.
people.
I'm talking to you, I can't remember his name now.
Well, we're doing grassroots campaign, so if you know, that's what sets us apart too.
Subscribe, like, share on your LinkedIn this podcast.
Yes. Bye bye.
Bye. Happy Valentine's
Bye.
Day, everyone.
Happy Valentine's Day. Love the one you're with.